We're on the beach here in Dominicalito. Jordan is in a tandem paraglider right now with his base rig on. He's got a lot to do to get out of his harness and make this jump. Yeah, buddy. No ways, bro. Oh, it's so sick, bro.
We're going to have ourselves a nautical instrument.
Bueno. San Blas.
San Blas.
Jeez. This is like paradise. We sailed into the beautiful San Blas Islands. These islands are still remote and wild. White coral sand, palm trees, turquoise Caribbean water. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever visited. Amazing. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? Ese es Tyler del velero Wizard's Eye. ¿Usted habla inglés? We have a sailboat of 42 feet. Do you have space for us if we leave tonight and maybe come in the morning? About 5 days. Wonderful. We pulled anchor and set sail for the Panama Canal. We had our first meeting in 5 days to try to sort out the logistics to transit the Panama Canal. With zero idea of the process, I dove in to try and figure it out. There's about 4 or 5 offices and papers and bank visits and all sorts of stuff that goes into transiting the Panama Canal, and the fact that we're not doing it with an agent means that I am going to be doing all of that myself. ¿La proceso por el canal? ¿Qué decimos hacer? Sí. Sí. Muchas gracias. Okay. And the driver just took up with all the most important documents of the boat. Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Cómo está? Ok, muchas gracias, señor. Ok, feliz día, nos vemos. With all of our paperwork in order, we set out to Shelter Bay to pick up a few new members of the crew. Woo! Shelter Bay. Not a bad place to be right now. We were able to pick up Tyler Lee. Perfect. Go, bro.
Here, let's just do a quick hot unload.
Yes. So we got 7 people on board. Nice crew. Happy days. We had a week to kill before our scheduled date to transit the Panama Canal. We decided to visit a beautiful historic river just up the coast. One more stop before we headed through the Panama Canal and began our final run towards La Paz, Mexico. The Rio Chagres. This majestic river was dammed in 1910 to create the lake for the Panama Canal. It's a beautiful stretch of lush Panamanian jungle with wildlife springing up everywhere you look.
So good to see that kind of green, man, and so many life, so many animals. So happy to be here, exploring another beautiful day, full of adventure, full of good things, positive vibes, alegría. My first time on the wizard side, when I arrived, Tyler said like, okay, dude, welcome home.
So this is my mattress. It's not so big, but it's one of the best places I ever been. I opened this compartment and I can see the stars at night.
It's like a secret spot in the wizard side.
Pretty nostalgic because it makes me think of my childhood. I grew up in upstate New York, and so my parents would take me camping for 10 weeks every summer and just paddle the canoe around, go fishing, camping. All my sons learned how to kayak, and Tyler was the one who stuck with it. And in the early days, I was just hoping he'd have a skill he could use for the rest of his life. And he's taken it way beyond that to this trip sailing around the world. Could never dream of that back in the day.
Having my dad on board the Wizard's Eye is amazing. From day one, he's been so supportive of this whole expedition, and I truly couldn't have gotten this far without him. The opportunity to share this beautiful place with him is a memory I will cherish forever.
That was when, Bill, you really stoked me out because, I mean, there's no shower, there's nothing, and we're in this river, and there's bull sharks and crocodiles and all this stuff in there, and Bill was like, well, shit, if you're not gonna swim in a jungle river, man, I don't know what's wrong with you, because if you go out with a crocodile or a bull shark, that's a hell of a way to die.
The back flipped into the
But
water.
it did, he back flipped in. Jordan says, I hear that there's a crane in the jungle. We're going to go find a crane to jump off of. And he's got his stash bag already on.
Right.
And we start hiking in the jungle. And Bill says, make sure someone has a compass because you guys never know, you know?
A little jungle trek here. We're going to try to find a crane, an observatory crane. We already tried one way, now we're going to try this way.
We're walking in circles in the jungle. We're back to where we were. I'm trusting them because they're really adventurous dudes, but...
Did you find anything? Stop going that way. That's the wrong way. You need to go, bro. What? Go, 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 go. I got a medicine can in my backpack.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
We got attacked by these wasps, and I had a machete in my hand, and it stung me, and I made this motion over to try to get rid of it, and swung my machete into my hand. Went straight down to the bone on my middle two fingers, bleeding everywhere. Got our shit together, find our way back to the dinghy, get back to the boat, break out the suture kit.
And I'm like, hey, I used to do this type of stuff quite a bit. It's no big deal. We're just gonna numb you up. You're not gonna feel anything. We'll clean it out really well, and then we'll stitch it up.
Okay, buddy, that's good, man. I think it's clean.
Jordan, where'd you learn how to do this, bud?
I saw a pretty cool video on YouTube.
Get him numbed up, start doing the sutures, and can't remember the knot. And he's like, I'm just looking at Tyler, and he's just waiting, like, oh God, really? And I'm just like, wait, was it like this or like that?
These guys are like just taking turns trying to tie a knot in the stitch. I'm just like, guys, just like throw a couple overhands in there, man. Like throw a damn knot in that string, dude. Stitch it up and went on our way.
Glad that's over.
My hand was a bit worse for the wear, but we had to keep moving. We finally got the official go-ahead, and the only thing that stood between us and the Pacific Ocean was a series of locks inside the Panama Canal. Huge iron gates meters thick control the locks. It was stunning to see this incredible feat of engineering and pass through a place of such historic significance. It can be really dicey entering these locks depending on where the officials decide to place you. We had 2 boats on our starboard side and we were tied to the wall on our port. It was incredibly difficult and very, very dangerous.
Forward, 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 forward. Forward, forward, keep it forward, forward. Hey, dale pa'lante.
You got it, TV, buddy.
The whole boat was pushing against this wall, and look at how far our solar panel sticks out from the boat. So we almost wiped out a solar panel.
It got a little more exciting.
Here we are at the Panama Canal. Welcome to Panama Canal.
Good job, my friend.
Big bro, nice.
Did it.
We made our way through Lake Guatun and continued on toward the Pacific Ocean. We got honked at. I think we were a little close for comfort there. After a couple more locks and 2 days of sailing, we finally started to see the Pacific Ocean. We're gonna start our descent down into the Pacific Ocean. We've been motoring along all morning. Taking slack, taking slack, taking slack. Okay. Dude, this is it, man. We made it to the Pacific. Oh, man, so stoked.
¡Eh, Pacífico! Pura vía, ya más cerquita.
Bueno, dude, we're at sea level again.
New ocean.
Woo! Quite the trip going through that thing. That was really impressive. Man, I felt like a horse on the way home. You know, I was like, La Paz, Bercovich Marina, here we come. That was close. All right. Yeah. In Panama City, we loaded up on supplies and brought 2 new crew members on board, Brad Ludden and Kate Wilson. Brad has been one of my best friends since my earliest days in a kayak. I looked up to him as a next-level adventurer back in high school. We went on so many epic journeys together, and it wouldn't be right to finish the trip without him coming on board.
It's like a dream come true, man. When I had bad days, I would go online and watch videos that Tyler had posted from his adventures on this thing, and it would always make me feel better. And so to finally see it happening is pretty surreal, to be honest.
Kate and I had a romantic relationship when we were much younger, and we stayed close friends over the years. She's an amazing person who fully embodies the spirit of the Wizard's Eye.
First I met Tyler 9 years ago. He was 21, kind of a punk kid in board shorts, and I ended up going on this Green Canyon trip with him, rafting around, and it kind of was similar in a lot of ways. 9 years later, he invited me on the trip. I could swing it 3 weeks, so I flew into Panama City. We did a bunch of island hopping. It's so beautiful. Nobody around as far as you could see, and swimming around and looking at fish and seeing whales and dolphins and turtles and beautiful birds everywhere. I feel pretty lucky. Like, I didn't know the words bro, dude, and man were used so frequently ever, and on this boat it's been like every third word. It's like bromance is real on this boat.
The final leg of this expedition was finally underway. We'd sail from Panama City through the Las Perlas Islands onto Coiba Island, and ultimately head towards Costa Rica, where we bring Andre home for his first time in 7 years. This stretch of sailing felt effortless. The boat is sailing beautifully, we are stopping in breathtaking spots, catching fish, and it's hard to believe we are only a few short months from the end of this 4-year journey. Oh, here goes some good ones. You ready?
Oh shit! It's never too early for a bad idea, is it?
Now we're having fun. We were having an absolute blast, but nobody was more stoked than Andre to be this close to home after 7 years of being away.
After many hours in this boat, I am closer than ever, dude. Over there is like the South Pacific of Costa Rica. To see all those mountains full of jungle, full of life, full of nice people waiting for us. So many emotions. There is no words for explaining this. It's like so much happiness. It's been a lot of time, man. So much learning, so much good times, bad times, and come back to your roots. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. So happy.
In Capos, we rendezvoused with Reno, who was coming in to join us once again. There we met up with our friend Jorge, who is local to Costa Rica. Jorge offered to take us on a paddling tour of some iconic Costa Rican rivers.
This is where the Rockies and the Andes meet. We're in Turrialba right here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go up the mountains, follow the Rio Tuis for a little bit, and we're gonna put in right there, like Bajo Pacuare.
Pulling the boats off of Chunche here on the bank of the Pacuare River. This is one of the rivers that's the backbone of Costa Rican whitewater, and here with just a bunch of local paddlers, local community who are trying to stop a dam that's propositioned to be put in on the Pacuare River here. I'd been hearing about this river my whole life. It's this beautiful jungle canyon with really amazing white water. With the proposed dam on this river, the community is fighting not only to save the ecosystem of the Pacuare, but also the Costa Rican river community, economy, and way of life for so many people.
Muchas gracias, señor. Salud, guys. Cheers.
Chaining up to try to get up into the Chiripo. Thankful for the one chain we're gonna have, and yeah, man. I think we're gonna be walking. Being back in a kayak, I felt the rush of excitement that I used to have for the sport when I was a kid. It doesn't always have to be going bigger and bigger, launching off of death-defying waterfalls. It can just be a beautiful day spent connecting with people and the natural world. It was a revelation about myself and what I wanted to do with my future. After breaking my back on Abaquoh Falls, the Wizard's Eye trip gave me a new perspective and reignited my love for paddling in a way that I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, brother, that was awesome. Chiripo Atlántico.
This entire expedition, I was hoping to get Rush Sturgis on board. He's one of my oldest friends, and I wanted him to experience life aboard the Wizard's Eye.
I'm sure you get this a lot, but it's definitely not as big as I thought it would be. Where do we sleep, dude? Down this little cubby here? Setting sail for Mexico. I've never sailed before, so should be an interesting little experience out here. Tyler just broke the news to me today. He's like, yeah, so we do like 3-hour shifts. I'm like, what do you mean?
Rush is like, what, you don't stop for the night? Like sleep? It's starting to get real now, man. We're actually on the boat. Good to have you, Rush.
Yeah, dude. You got that motion sickness stuff? No.
Welcome home, Kircho.
Yeah, I like your style, diggity.
That's not your room.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me this suite over here. Yeah.
This is how you start the boat.
Just hot wire it in, huh?
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
We sailed along Costa Rica and tried to get Rush up to speed on the boat. Well, he may have been out of his element. He's no stranger to adventurous situations. Years earlier, right before I traveled to Mexico to buy the Wizard's Eye, Rush and I took on one of the most dangerous journeys of our lives in Africa. We paddled the highest volume rapids in the world on the last unnavigated section of the Congo River, the Inga Rapids. 8 months after I broke my back, Rush and I, we ran the Congo, which was one of the most dangerous, gnarliest things that either of us have ever done.
It was a totally alien environment. The primary concern was definitely just the white water.
Some of the most deadly big white water on the planet in just like such a volatile place too. And the fact that the previous expedition that went in there, everybody got shot and killed.
That energy weighed heavy for sure. I've never done a trip before where I've written out a will on the plane, and I genuinely, like in my mind, really wondered whether or not we would all come back from this thing alive.
This is for sure the weakest paddler on the team. I was still in my back brace when we were trying to make this decision. We were all pushed to the very edge every single time, like we put our boats on that river. We were so close to death and we all felt it.
There are some things that I would never do again, and the Congo is definitely one of them. Right after that, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go and sail around the world now.
After 2 weeks of living the dream in Costa Rica, we had to set sail. It's hard to leave, but it's time to finish this trip. A lot of people have said that this is the very hardest part of a lot of world circumnavigations, is this stretch here now into the wind and into the current.
Yeah, dude, I thought this was like the chill part.
We headed north towards La Paz, where I had originally launched the Wizard's Eye almost 4 years earlier.
Oh yeah, one just jumped, dude. Look out, buddy! We're about to go into Mexico Customs, which we hear is a just delightful experience. Awesome being out on the sea.
Good morning, Puerto Chiapas, sailing vessel Wizard's Eye. We're a U.S. flag vessel coming in from Costa Rica this morning. Permission to enter port and proceed to Marina Chiapas to clear customs and immigration, over.
Okay. Proceed, please.
We cleared customs and picked up some supplies to get us through this last stretch, then set sail up the coast of Mexico towards La Paz. It was a smooth ride in paradise so far, but things took a turn as we hit some rough seas entering the Gulf of Tehuantepec, a notorious zone for violent wind events. These huge gusts coming from the Caribbean funnel through this low pass into the Pacific Ocean, creating a wind event that is infamous in this part of the world. Jordan and I battled our way through the storm as the rest of the team retreated to the cabin below. With how rough the seas were, the chances of rolling the sailboat were very real, so I wanted as few people on deck as possible. After nearly 8 hours of rough sailing, the winds finally subsided and we were able to let our guard down. We pulled into La Cruz and linked up with Timmy Morris.
We got the boats, we got the boards, we got everything on board, we got all the people and a few beers. We're gonna head into Sayulita. We're gonna cross the river on the north side, hopefully hit the left-hand wave. Hey, check out these donkeys.
Timmy is a guy who lives life on his own terms. We've had some wild adventures together over the years. He lives in Sayulita for 6 months out of the year and happened to be in the right spot at the right time to hop aboard the Wizard's Eye. We pulled into this stretch of Mexico with beautiful islands and tons of little hidden spots to explore.
Here we are in the Marietas at the secret beach. Double high five, double high five. That was twisted.
We're heading for La Paz, 450 miles away. Never thought I'd say it, but we are about ready to finish this thing.
And the only real sense of pleasure that I feel would be to sail free in my soul. Oh, same old river, same old sea, same old waters rushing over me. Same old moon, same old sun, same old race we've always run. Same old race we've always run. Same old.
Sailing into the seas of southern Mexico with so many thousands of miles behind us, the weight of the circumnavigation began to melt away. It was all within sight now. We're coming across the Sea of Cortez. The sun was setting and Baja finally appeared on the horizon. I had spent so many years wondering what that moment would feel like. Watching Baja materialize, sun setting pretty much right down the channel that we came out of 4 years ago, almost to the day. There was joy, there was bliss, everything that I felt, but it was like almost like this numbness to show back up to where we began, you know. It was more a moment of reflection than a moment of accomplishment. Just incredible gratitude for everything that we had had the opportunity to experience, and it was another chapter closing and another chapter beginning and time to turn the page. It's about 4:30 in the morning on April 22nd, 2017. The Wizard's Eye crossed her old path from the Baja Peninsula. It was a pretty crazy moment. Oh, cold wind blowing off the desert and a billion stars in the sky, a new moon. Same moon as we left on. Lots happened, a lot has changed, and just happy that the Wizard's Eye and I are both coming back stronger than we were before. It's been her journey as much as any of ours, and man, what a crazy feeling.
What I learned a lot from Tyler and being on the boat with him is that there literally is no limitation to what we could do on any given day.
He was never ever telling how we're gonna do it. We'd literally plan our travel by looking on Google Earth. Like, that looks like a sweet place, let's go there. And then, once you've done what you want to do there and experienced that place, you pull the hook and you move on to the next place. I mean, it is the most real way of traveling, in my opinion.
Going out to sea for my first time ever with Tyler, I was legitimately kind of scared, but being out there with him and just seeing how he had just made this boat his life, to just go out there on a limb and be like, I'm gonna learn to sail and I'm gonna go around the world, that takes a really special person. That boat carries a heavy amount of responsibility. As much as like all we do is joke with each other and there's always like humor involved, it's no joke out there at sea, and he took it seriously, and I felt safe being with him most of the time. He's also exceptionally out to lunch.
Out to lunch is a great term.
But we all are.
Hacked a machete into my hand.
Was like so good to meet him, especially when you see like what kind of person he is. He respects everybody, he's friendly, he worked hard, so much good energy always. I think he's a dreamer too. He believed in things and he made it possible. Even when many people were thinking it's not possible at all.
I've always sort of bordered on being like this like introvert, extrovert style person, you know, like I love people and I love being around them. And then the Wizard's Eye, I became so introverted that it became hard for me to even be around people. So much time at sea and being alone was changing me, and I felt that, and I liked some of it and I hated other parts of it. Of course I was homesick, but I had anxiety about even, you know, going back home. And I guess it was my love for my family and my friends and my love for kayaking that I was excited to get back to. And the Wizard's Eye gave me such tremendous perspective in that regard. Good morning of the big day on the Wizard's Eye. The sun has just risen. We're gonna go haul this puppy out of the water and the great return to La Paz. This whole process of learning how to sail and live off the ocean, exploring this incredible world of water that we live on, are all things that I had really no idea about before I set off on the Wizard's Eye. I think one of the hardest things that you can possibly do in this life is to try to reinvent yourself where you're not surrounded by comfort. If you just set off and start something and then stay persistent and keep working towards it, eventually it happens. Heart's good. Oh.
Quite the homecoming, dude.
Boat just went on land, man. Here she is. We're celebrating 4 years. About 45,000 miles around the world. Here's to it. Oh, Wizard's Eye is here. Nestled back into the Bercovich shipyard. And here we are. We're getting ready to go out.
Tyler, 4 years ago, I came right down here and laid my hands on the boat for the first time, right in that spot. Right, that's where I first touched the boat. Just seeing that and realizing the boat is gone around the world. Not very many people get to do that, very few.
What a trip. As we drove towards the airport, I was flooded with the finality of it all. We'd been through so much over the past 4 years. We'd met so many amazing people and experienced the beauty and culture of some of the wildest places on Earth. We'd lived some of the highest of highs and overcame some of the most challenging situations of my life. It was almost surreal. It was hard to imagine what would be next, and I found myself at a bit of a loss as to where to go from here. I will never take a single moment for granted. You know, our time is so precious that we have here, and we're so just lucky to be here in the first place, and to be able to have the opportunity to live every single moment of every single day as much as I can. And I came away from the Wizard's Eye expedition with so much of a renewed passion for that.
You know, Tyler's not the most organized person in the world. He'll be out somewhere and he'll lose his wallet. He won't have any money. And I say, Tyler, what did you do? And he said, well, I went and made friends with the guy in the deli and he gave me breakfast. And I went and made friends with somebody else and they helped me. He's seen so much and I'm incredibly envious of his lifestyle.
Lifestyle is just priceless. I've been at the time of my life going to Fiji and hanging out for a couple months, meeting all these guys from all over the world, meeting the local people. Those kind of trips you just can't purchase. If you go to the same place and stay in a hotel, you're insulated from the culture. You're not with the real world.
I mean, it's just like any journey. You just have to put one foot in front of the other and, you know, have a bit of an optimistic outlook.
But how does anybody survive? Just by making things happen. So if you can go through life knowing how to just get things done, it's going to be okay. And when you look at the reality, good health is all we really got. And having good experience is all we really have. So sometimes I feel sorry for the people who are on the treadmill of going through the grind of trying to build up a retirement account, which they may never use.
You know, at some point it'll be Tyler and me.
You're right.
And you got the money.
And you got the money.
But, you know, that doesn't matter. It's about your brother.
Yeah, man. The depth of love that's in this family is like undescribable, you know, like do anything in the whole world for any of you guys, you know, and like this whole journey that we undertook, it's allowed me to live a deeper life, a more meaningful life. I have been loving being back in my kayak, living my life from one adventure to next. I guess I've just returned to where I've come from. It's not about what I'm gonna do, but how I'm gonna do it. The Wizard's Eye is going to continue living her life too. Neither that boat or I, and certainly, you know, a lot of the crew, you know, we're never going to be the same after that trip. And I think a lot of the changes are overwhelmingly for the best.
Bill doesn't do short yoga.
Oh. Happy days, boys. Happy days.
Oh, back in the day, I was an animal. Amateur hour art, amateur criminal. Walking the avenue, licking my little chops. Is a million miles away that life would ever stop.